I'm Julie Bengston, and I have tennis addiction. I love to play, I love to watch professional tennis, and I love the way the game combines the simple act of hitting a ball with strategies and skills that can be very complex. Whenever I have a minute of free time, when I'm not working on a Pecha presentation or doing some volunteer work or my annual vacuuming, I'm perched in front of the tennis channel, hanging on every word the commentators have to say. My vast knowledge of useless information about the sport comes from this undivided attention to what I normally think of as a time-wasting device. Most of my vacations center around a trip and an opportunity to attend a professional tennis tournament. Tennis is often called a lifetime sport because it can be played at any level and at almost any age. I know many good players in Bemidji in their 70s, and I think some of them are over 80, but they don't seem to advertise their age. Teddy Tennis is designed for kids beginning at age 3. Tennis Kids Zone is a website with design and information that's attractive to older kids. Michelle Obama has embraced tennis as part of her Let's Move program. Michelle and I are working hard to promote the sport across America. I'm here talking to you, and she has a little larger audience. The United States Tennis Association has created 10 and under tennis, which is a great thing for getting kids out for some fun exercise through play. 10 and under tennis allows them to feel success and have fun at an early age by using smaller courts, lower nets, smaller rackets, and lower compression balls. Up to age 8, kids use these colorful low compression balls that don't bounce as far and low portable nets that are set up on a standard court as shown here. 9 and 10-year-olds play on a slightly larger court with balls that are standard sized but lighter and still lower compression. So tennis can be picked up at almost any age. And it doesn't have to be expensive. You can pick up a cheap racket and a can of balls at a local store, put on a t-shirt and shorts and go out to a public court. Or it can be upscale. You can go online and get the very racket that Roger Federer uses, and the same clothing that Maria Sharapova wears, and go show off at a private club. You can choose to play in a highly competitive situation, and if you enjoy that, there are adult tournaments to be found around the area. But in my tennis circles, a game I've lovingly described as chatty ladies doubles, it's mostly about social interaction, maybe getting a little exercise, and last on the list, winning the match. We feel we exercise our minds as well as our bodies because sometimes it takes a little discussion to figure out what the score is at any given time. Most of us don't remember who won last week. I've always loved math and science. Geometry and physics are part of life and part of tennis. That fuzz on the ball actually has a role to play and can affect how much spin is on the ball or how quickly it flies through the air. It amazes me when watching the pros to see if they can fine-tune the flight of the ball. I'm also fascinated by the geometry of the court. Diagonal shots are easiest because you have more length to play with, and the net is 6 inches lower in the middle, so there's a vertical that comes into play as well. The shot down that red line is more difficult because the net is higher, the distance is shorter, and there's a smug sense of satisfaction when passing an opponent straight down that sideline. Moving closer to the net creates sharper angles. When you play doubles with one up and one back, there are lots of options. And if you don't like geometry, I don't imagine why everyone doesn't, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to understand it so much. You just think about putting the ball where the opponent isn't. Scoring in tennis involves some quirky terminology. The word love is probably known by everyone as a tennis term denoting 0. There are 2 possible sources for this. Many historians say it comes from the French word l'œuf, meaning egg, as in round. Others speculate that it comes from the phrase not for love nor money, where love means nothing. No one really knows for sure. But I love the psychology of scoring. It's a system of second chances. It's not like in basketball where you wish you'd made that free throw in the first half because you lost the game by 1 point. Or in golf where sometimes the score is cumulative over a period of days. You've probably heard the phrase game, set, match. And if we put it in its simplest format, the first player to win 4 points wins a game. The first player to win 6 games wins a set, and it takes 2 out of 3 sets to win a match. So that bad shot or bad game you might have played at the beginning might not matter if you can put it out of your memory and move on. So I might win the first game, but my opponent could go on and still win the first set. I'm the orange ball on the left. But it doesn't matter, because I'm going to move on. I'm going to pull myself together and win the second set. The score after I win the second set is now 1-1. After all that, it's even. I get a second chance. All I have to do is win the third set, and I can win the match. Time to get new shoes. I like that tennis is a green sport. The USGA is trying hard to promote reuse and recycling of all types of equipment. Tennis Rackets for Kids is a national program that gives you the opportunity to hand down used tennis rackets to kids who need them. There are multitudes of websites, but here are a few. The Nike Reuse a Shoe program collects your used shoes and separates the rubber from the foam from the fabric parts of the shoe. They're ground up and used in running tracks, playgrounds, and different court surfaces. Rebounces allows you to send your tennis balls for recycling, but you have to send 100 at a time. So, if you don't want to send that many, your dog is always a good option as well. You can recycle your old racket by giving it to your neighbor kid, your niece or nephew. Tennis ball cans can go into the local recycling bins, and the area used clothing stores will certainly be able to sell your Maria Sharapova tennis outfit. Bemidji has 21 public tennis courts, and hopefully in years to come there will be more. The Bemidji Area Tennis Association was established in 2004 and is working hard to construct an indoor facility so Bemidji can have tennis all year round. The BATA web address is shown here, where you can find out how to get lessons from a pro or participate in classes and activities for all ages. I play the game for the challenge of figuring out strategy and making the shots. Others play to win. You might play for other reasons. There are rewarding social connections. You might want to just spend more time with your kids or grandchildren, but hopefully I've sparked an interest in a new sport for you, and if you develop an addiction, give me a call. I'll be completely sympathetic.